All right, everybody, we got something real different for you guys today.
Yeah, real different.
It proves that we too can read, not just watch moving pictures, but we sat and took our time, listened to Critical Role's
Shout out Audible.
Vox Machina, Kith and Kin.
Yes.
Which, if you followed along and loved every bit of the animated series of Vox Machina, which I hope you did,
Because
one of my favorites.
We love Vox Machina.
Season 2 in particular. But this book, I will say, for not being this kind of media person, fantastic.
It really was.
It was a stunning. It was great because we could visualize everything in the world. And then we listened to it on audiobooks. I won't drop the name. I know he did, but we don't get paid by them yet. But the voice acting, the tradition, like the main reader, and then they got the characters from Vox Machina.
Yeah, that was huge for me.
It made the difference.
And it almost was like I was watching a prequel to Vox.
Yes.
That's what it felt like to
But
me.
you could visualize the Vex and Vax's face. You
Yes.
could, the world.
And we're not going to get into spoilers in this because you should truly read it for yourself or listen on Audible or anywhere else you listen to your books. It was a great slow burn of a story. It took a while for it to get moving.
Yep.
But man, if it didn't solidify the relationship between Vex and Vax and just that bond they share,
they're in
to
love.
where now, if I go watch Vox again, those two are my main characters.
I want to have a relationship with a significant other, just like they do with their brother and sister. I never felt such a bond. Like, I swear to God, one of the scenes where they were describing everything, I thought I was reading 50 Shades of Grey. And it was...
They were the only people in their lives that were for each other.
So you build
They have a very unique,
different bond.
tight bond with each other.
Sure. Some would say it's illegal or frowned upon. Others thrive in it and endorse it.
It just scratched the Vox itch.
It did.
And
I'm glad you found it.
After season 2 ended, I was just felt with this pit in my stomach where it was like, I want more. Mm-hmm. And aside from going to watch Critical Role's series, which I don't want to be spoiled on because I do want to watch.
That's their actual campaign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aside from watching the actual campaign, I needed something to just hold me over until season 3.
I mean, it held us over for a week.
Yeah.
But
it was a couple weeks
better than nothing.
Because we only read it for about an hour a day.
Yeah. We wanted
to
to enjoy it.
Work.
It was a start and end story. She gave some backstory because it had a couple chapters that went years in the past, kind of
to their actual childhood,
which they hit it upon in season 2, so you could visualize that a little bit.
Yep. And I almost want to go back and rewatch all of Vox now just to see.
Let's go.
What had happened from after the book had ended to where we ended up in season 2, because like I said, they are the main characters to me now, because I don't have a backstory with Grog and Pike, which I would also
I think you and I are both thirsting for how Vox Machina came to be.
Yeah.
Like, we want that story.
I want to have someone write a book, is anyone listening, of how Vox Machina came to be.
Right. How did Grog... Obviously, we saw a little bit in season 2 of how Grog and Pike met.
But much more explained.
Where did Scanlan come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did Keyleth come from?
A little bit more of Percy's backstory.
Ready for it.
Yeah, I want all of that. And this is a great medium to express those stories because it's a lower budget, right? You don't have to put all that animation in.
I assume, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm naive.
The voice actors,
books.
I know you have to pay them.
Yeah.
And that also, it's like we said, that made the difference in the world.
It really did.
The story that the book told was... good.
There were so many twists and turns.
There was.
And where you thought you knew it was coming, but it went a complete different way.
The ending didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, me either. And it was heartfelt. It was emotional. And the narration by the reader was great. It really was.
I've listened to some hard books. If you've ever heard of this audiobook called The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, I listen to them when I'm driving. Nothing makes you want to drive off an overpass more than that book.
It's that bad?
Oh.
Wow.
So imagine the most boring, mundane-sounding person you can think of, and then put it for 24 hours of book reading.
Trying to read one of the most epic stories ever told. Yeah.
I get it, and I love the visual of Lord of the Rings. That's what, they need to bring them back, if they do another book. And on top of the credit we're giving the voice actors and everything, you got to give the authors some credit to write this tale of, that has nothing to do with what you and I saw.
Yeah.
I never followed Critical Role prior to this, and captivated me for, I think it was 13, 15 hours, depending. And I was in love.
It was a great book. And I want to go look for more fantasy series that like maybe can scratch the itch of what Vox gives in audio format, so I can like drive to and from work and
near another
just
world.
listen to something else.
If you guys know anything of a possible great fantasy book that would be up the kind of the genre we like, and if you watch our videos, you will know what they are.
Like Vox adjacent.
Yeah. Vox Machina, I would do anything that's D&D maybe that's a good story.
Yeah.
So anything, just leave in the comments below to try to give us some direction here, because we're one book in and we're just testing the waters.
And so just to highlight again, the narration of the book, the pitches, how he did different voices.
Oh, the kids. He did children. He did women. He did everything.
Fantastic. It was a great book, and we can't recommend it enough. We're not going to spoil too much of it for you. Go read it, because
this was just a quick review, a recap. But I could do a deep dive into the story.
If I would love to do that.
No problem, because it was a good story.
You had to give it a grade on our tier system. What would you have given it?
Give it an A.
Yeah, I would have too.
I'd give it an A.
I would have given it an A.
I think with my very little knowledge of how to review a book and what I expect.
You.
Oh God, I wanted to listen to it. I've had books that I stopped halfway through because it just wasn't doing me.
And when the book ended, I was like, and then what?
Yes.
Like, tell me more. What else did they do?
I remember I texted you. I was like, okay, do you have something lined up? Like, I'm in this because this company that we listen books through is giving me emails like, hey, you listen to this book. You want to sign back up? You get 2 free? Well, sure. I mean, I will. I just
have 15 free credits. I'm just dying to download something else.
I want something that's going to be that we both would enjoy.
Yeah.
And that we'll start our own little book club like we're doing. Read on this chapter.
But anyway, guys, that was the review of Kith and Kin, a Critical Role story, and it was fantastic.
It was.
If we put it on our tier list, it would be an A. Go read it if you haven't. If Vox Machina is your thing, if Critical Role is your thing, if Dungeons and Dragons is your thing, you owe it to yourself to dive back into this world of Vex and Vax's history and absorb the story that is told in this book. Aside from that, if you guys like what we're doing around here, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode of Layman's Review.